Und we begin with 1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8.
9.
Yes, good. A justifiably spooky intro for our special October edition of Movies for Babies.
Do you mean...
More like monsters for babies.
Do you mean Moviez, Gore, Rabies, starring Coffin Lanaghost, Crustin Jeremy Mouth, and Burn Drooly?
Yes, that is what I mean.
Vern, have you been sitting on that ever since you pitched Goosebumps to us for the October episode?
Not ever since, but a very good deal shortly after, like very closely after I pitched it. Yes, so not the day I sent you the text, but maybe the day after. Yes, Moviez, Gore, Rabies.
You love it. You love to see it. This is the second in our commitment to cover good movies for babies.
The
for
commitment to quality.
Yes.
And I am also going to treat you both with a little surprise. As now you won't hear the music side of this because I simply cannot be bothered to figure out how to do that. But allow me to do my Weird Al style parody of the Goosebumps TV show theme song, DVD quality, that I've ripped from YouTube.com.
The song that famously has lyrics.
Yeah, well, it's about to. Oh, this is the time for Goosebumps. You know we watch those Goosebumps. You know we're watching Goosebumps. Here we are, we're talking Goosebumps. Goosebumps are in your house. Goosebumps are in your mouth. Goosebumps are in your spouse. R.L. Stein's cucking your mouth. Yeah, you know he's he's R.L. Stein, played by Jack Black. R.L. Stein going in the back. Goosebumps. This is the time for Goosebumps. This is the time for Goosebumps. This is a long version of this song.
Yeah, no, it's the
Time
extended
for
cut.
Goosebumps. All right, so,
It's the radio edit.
so yeah, I did the radio edit, but I did the explicit tag lyrics. So if you went to Walmart and you bought that single, it would say explicit parental advisory.
You would not be able to buy it at Walmart because Walmart does not carry parental advisory albums. Yeah. So you'd have to go to Target or Best Buy.
Yeah, as evidenced by my copy of A Hangover You Don't Deserve by Bowling for Soup. The song A-Hole, they just skip that part of the song where they say A-Hole. They just left a gap in the song.
You know, Kevin, you inspired two thoughts in my brain, and first was...
None of them good.
Was one of them what? I'm sorry?
None of them good.
Oh, none of them good.
None of them favorable thoughts.
One of them, I'm surprised that it finally happened where a song parody happened on one of our podcasts that was not done by me. Sure. But also, I didn't bring this up during the last episode, and I completely forgot. Whenever we decided we were going to start doing this show, I looked so hard for an instrumental version of the Muppet Babies theme song so that I could do a parody of it as Movies for Babies and do a theme song for the show. And I never ever, for whatever reason, I never found an instrumental version of the Muppet Babies theme song.
Surely some pervert with a huge amount of time managed to either isolate the instrumental or concoct a MIDI that is as good as.
Or recreate it, yes.
Yeah, I was not able to find that, but I'm happy to find out that the spirit... pun intended, the spirit of that lives on in Kevin's Goosebumps theme song with lyrics.
Would you believe
that
I didn't write those lyrics down?
If you're a fan of the show, please send us the
please,
yes,
file. I've been sitting on Movies for babies are making your dreams come true. I've been sitting on that for so long, and
we'll have to cover another Muppet-based movie if that comes across our desks. But yes, I would you believe I didn't write any of those lyrics down? That was all right off the top of the dome.
Oh my god! You mean it was you were shooting from the hip?
Yeah, I was firing from the hip, and I was shooting blanks, baby, just like R.L. Stine and your wife.
Oh my god!
Just like R.L. Stine.
Well, I mean, there is a good reason why he's the shocker on Shock Street.
Does in the movie, is it? I can't remember. I know his wife is not there, but was that a lie? Did he never have a wife? Or
I don't think there. We'll get into it with the whole daughter thing, but there is no stated wife.
Okay.
Yeah, there's never an implication, and truly, by the logic of the movie, there need not even be one, because
no. R.L. Stine is a Volcel. Like that is canon.
Yes, he, to quote the famous boxing trainer Mickey, women weaken legs, and I think the same principle applies to the creation of Goosebumps books.
Mm.
Right? No, he has to hold his seed so he keeps his energy.
All the passion is stored within the seed, and R.L. Stine would not be able to create any of his literary classics, like Werewolf of Fever Swamp, Abominable Snowman of Pasadena, Monster Blood, Monster Blood 2, Monster Blood 3, without his Volcel, his vow of celibacy that he takes in this film.
Yes, his voluntary celibacy.
Right.
Well, it's he subscribes to that ideology that David Lynch has, where like. I think he says in his book something to the extent of like the art life does not mix with love or something like that. To become the artist that you want to be and to make the art, you cannot have romantic partners in your life or something like that. I'm paraphrasing and misattributing this quote, but
considering that Pablo Picasso was not only happily married, he also had multiple like mistresses that never went too badly, I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Yeah, I'm afraid to bust out my fact check logometer, but I gotta call bullshit on that one from old D. Lynch. Maybe that's necessary for him. Maybe
that might be his process.
Yeah, maybe that's his process, and he needs to be miserable. I would say, and I'm thinking here, the vast majority of quality creative people have been in some form of happy relationship or another when they've created some of their great works.
And David,
although woe betide the person who finds themselves to be Mr. or Mrs. Lynch.
Oh baby.
That sounds like a rough go.
I was going to say he is a married person, but also David Lynch has 3 houses all in the same neighborhood right next to each other. And
hell yeah.
And he sleeps in a separate house than his wife. So,
Booyah. Rules. I mean, considering, David Lynch's, I hate to talk about this on our Goosebumps episode, but David Lynch's relationship to his family is very specifically strange and bizarre. I mean, can you imagine being David Lynch's kid who was born as the inspiration for Eraserhead? Like, to realize that your dad so hated you that he made the most upsetting movies.
7 years. That means 7 years of your life making a movie
about how much he hated you in the crib. About how much he fucking hates you and thinks you're a cow fetus.
I don't think either of you guys have seen The Return. And this is minor spoilers. And
Twin Peaks: The Return?
Yeah, Twin Peaks: The Return. Minor spoilers, but also a content warning. There's a sequence in I think episode 5 of The Return. I'm not sure, but there's a band playing at the Roadhouse, and there's someone playing saxophone, and it's Riley Lynch, David Lynch's son. And during that sequence, a sexual assault takes place, and it's like, I don't know, Dad. Maybe don't use my music to score your sexual assault scene in your show.
It's
I
just
don't
what
know.
it makes me think of. It's where my mind goes when I hear your art, son.
So I agree that the relationship. Jennifer Chambers Lynch wrote The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer, the tie-in novelization that came out whenever the show was originally on. And it's the only piece of Twin Peaks media that I have not finished because Jennifer Chambers Lynch does such a good job writing that diary that I feel like I'm reading a little girl's diary, and it creeps me the hell out, and I could not. Could not do it.
Oh no!
Wow, big ups to Jennifer Chambers Lynch. Big ups.
Big ups. Incredible, like very well written, but because it's very well written, I can't do it. I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's art so well constructed, like Eraserhead. It's art so like perfectly constructed to be what it is that I can't go anywhere near it. That I can't experience it because it horrifies me.
That climax, the Gaspar, I'll mispronounce his last name, so I won't even try. His movie, Gaspar Noé's film, Climax. Possession is a great movie. I'll never want to watch it again because it damn near gave me a heart attack. But yeah, no, it's great on the artists, but it's not for me because y'all did so good in doing what you did.
Yeah.
But for me, that movie is beloved.
Sure.
Makes sense.
Man, it's good. It's a hard watch.
Absolutely. Fletch lives. This is, of course, Movies for Babies, a podcast where
Welcome to Movies for Babies.
where every month we watch a movie meant for babies. This month, we are talking about the surprisingly very good 2015 Goosebumps movie. The first one. I have not seen the sequel, Haunted Halloween, but it is one of those sequels where they don't bring back the director or any of the original cast. It is a premise-only sequel. And it's like the exact same premise. Like, the monsters got out again! And, like, no. So, they actually tried to make the sequel without Jack Black. Like, he was not in it at all. And then they tested the movie. And the audience feedback was like, I don't know what you think we liked about the first one. It was Jack Black. What are you talking about?
I think at this point, a pillar of children's cinema.
Jack Black's a fucking legend at this point.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad like throwing that around. Like fucking School of Rock, Tenacious D, an incredible body of work for various ages of people. He really is one of the fucking guys, and there have been many pretenders to that throne over the years, and no one has come even close. Dan Fogler done did try, Dan Fogler done did not.
I did not know that about... I've not seen Goosebumps 2 as well. I've not seen Goosebumps 2 too, but I did not know that he exists as reshoots to that movie.
Yeah, he is in like one scene, and he is like a reshoot because they're like, "Fuck, we need to put Jack Black in the trailer." God damn it, we need to put Jack Black in the trailer.
We gotta get Jack back.
Get him out of a house with a cock in its balls or whatever, and fucking get him over to Goosebumps 2.
I never did see that, and I always did because of Jack Black, and I wanted to see it because of him and because of Kyle MacLachlan, another Twin Peaks person.
And isn't that Big Kate Blanchett?
Yes, I believe so. But it is never
like a movie
never
I'd
happened.
enjoy.
I will get more into it at the end of this podcast. This Goosebumps movie is darn near perfect, but there's one grave, pun intended, mistake that separates it from being perfect, and which made me not interested in seeing a sequel. Not saying this movie is bad, but there's just one thing that they do that keeps it from being a perfect movie.
I know exactly what you're talking about, mostly because you and I have discussed it multiple times. I do think there are... I would compare this to Rob Letterman's other prominent directorial work, Detective Pikachu.
Masterpiece.
Where, they
Mere
are both...
masterpiece.
really close to greatness. They're really fun. They get a lot of energy out of this like property. They work in big name celebrities, but in like a way that feels good and organic. They tell like a cohesive story.
Also, remember, these are properties that are almost impossible to translate to film.
Goosebumps is deceptively different because most Goosebumps books could barely span a 30-minute television episode. So to try and take The Werewolf of Fever Swamp and make it feature, to try to take Night of the Scarecrow and make it a feature film is a fool's endeavor. But Rob Letterman, I don't think he has writing credit on either of his movies, but he has these like scripts that elegantly try to work these worlds into a feature film. I just think both scripts, both for Goosebumps and Detective Pikachu, just need like one more polish. They're just like so close. So like we're obviously not to that point in this movie, but there's a point at the end of this movie where like the popular couple is like breaking up in the middle of a monster fight, and I'm like, I wish the first act had been us getting to know the characters in this school. If you're going to set a large part of the climax in the school as, like, they are defending themselves from the monsters. Does that make sense? Like, I wish we didn't meet them 5 minutes before they're breaking up. I wish they had been characters in the movie, like a Mean Girls or an Easy A, which, like, spend the movie building these relationships so it can then tear them down.
Yes.
My problem with the movie, and, like, we'll get into it, is like this was the first time I'd ever seen Goosebumps. Okay. And I thought it was good. Like, it's fine. Like, it's a good kids movie that I'd really enjoy on an airplane.
Perfect airplane movie. Perfect airplane movie.
Yeah.
Yes. But this is one of those movies that I watch, and I think, and it feels like the story would work better if it didn't have the protagonist in it.
Oh, you don't like Zach? You don't like
I don't like one of the multiple, like, another one of the generically handsome white actors that they grow in the tube next to Pete Buttigieg.
Rat fuck?
I like, he's not,
like, he's fine. Like, he's fine in the role, but he's, to me, just watching, like, he's another Zac Efron knockoff that, like,
Efron's got charisma.
A pseudo Channing Tatum that is like, cool, you're doing it, you're fine. Like, he's not bad in it, but all the other characters around him were so much more interesting, and I cared about them so much more than
the
him.
supporting cast, like starting at Champ and R.L. Stein, and then going down through, like, the cops and his aunt.
Yeah.
Those are, like,
the mom, the aunt. Like, if they relegated him to a supporting character and focused the movie on Hannah and R.L. Stein, it would be a much stronger
I can
movie.
see what you're saying, but also just, like, there's only been one good Billy Peltzer, and that's Billy Peltzer in Gremlins. And
sure.
I think, like, this movie has a lot of similarities to Gremlins. And
yes, it's very
and
Gremlins.
I think, like,
which is good. That's the right energy to have to adapt.
Yes.
One of the and I was thinking I'd end up saying this near the end, but I'll go ahead and say it now. This movie does a very intelligent thing, unlike another movie we previously discussed, where it realizes that the strength in Goosebumps is the title Goosebumps and not the characters within Goosebumps. I mean, we still have the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. We still have Slappy. We still have the giant praying mantis.
The Invisible Boy.
But
Slappy's a king. You dropped your crown, king.
Yes.
Your little tiny wooden crown.
But the people who made this movie realized that, like, we all remember Goosebumps, but person to person, we all have different experiences with Goosebumps. I'm sure that I read different Goosebumps books than you two did, than anyone else did.
There's like 100 of them. Of course you did.
And they made the right decision to make this just like an adaptation of all the Goosebumps books, as opposed to Scoob, who tried to do, like, you know what I mean? Like, the dumb thing would have been to have, like, a big kind of thing where, like, here, you know, like a big kind of like Avengers style movie like Scoob tried doing, where here's all these characters, but because no one remembers Goosebumps super vividly, no one remembers who any of these people are. You don't have to have read the book about the garden gnomes to appreciate that sequence. Whereas if you've if you're going into Scoob and you've never heard of Blue Falcon, you're going to be very frustrated by why they're spending so much time with Blue Falcon.
As if we already know who they are.
Right. They so smartly, in making this movie, do not treat Goosebumps as a sacred text.
Yes.
You know? And I think Detective Pikachu has a similar approach to Pokemon. I think the Lego movie and the Lego Batman movie have a similar attitude towards their source material. Like, we're not here to dunk on it. We don't think we're better than it. But we're not going to treat these things as if they are sacred, holy cows that we cannot besmirch. Like, we're going to have fun within the parameters of these ideas, of these properties. This is, if I were, even though, you know, this movie is like a gentleman's 7 out of 10. Completely solid, completely enjoyable.
Yeah.
I have some notes, but I have watched this movie a few times now, and I'm never bored. It's so watchable.
Oh, yeah.
All the, like, supporting performances, Jillian Bell, Jack Black, Amanda Funbuns Lund, like, Ken Marino in, like, 2 scenes. Like, they're all, Timothy Simmons, like, they're all really funny, really charming. The movie is brisk. It's like 100 minutes. It does not overstay its welcome.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm showing people...
It goes by like a breeze. It really is the perfect airport movie.
100%. If you're on a flight, like on one of my flights from New York to St. Louis that takes 2 hours, this would be the perfect thing to put on.
Yes.
It'll be over before you know it. And if I was showing people how to adapt properties into studio films, this is probably the movie I'd show them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not perfect, but I'm like, here's how you do it. Here's what you got to do. It needs to be a fun movie first before it is like a reverent Goosebumps movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like, it's a very functional... It's a functional movie. And I don't mean that in, like, a negative way. Like, it sets out what it does, and it does it, and it's a very efficient movie. It sets everything up, and it pretty much cleans everything up in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
There's room.
It does exactly what it sets out to be, and it gives you exactly what you... And it doesn't do a Goosebump book, but it gives you what you think you'd want from a Goosebump book.
Yes, they leave a trail of member berries for you, member berries, where it's just like, you can go through and you're like, oh yeah, and that's part of the fun of the movie, but also the movie is very fun. It works on many different layers and levels. As Kevin said, like, a darn near perfect adaptation. Also, looking out for my buddy Kevin, whenever Kevin said, whenever he referred to a woman as fun buns, he's making a reference to another podcast, something that woman's husband says. Don't cancel my friend Kevin. He's not.
Yes, it is, I believe, her Twitter handle. Like, I'm sorry, you're right. I guess out of context, that seems gross. That is Amanda Lund's Twitter handle. Famed pistol shrimp Amanda Lund.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I thank you for stepping in.
I caught the reference, but also who listens to this show, who has also listened to Pistol Shrimps Radio. I'm
Pistol
sure
Shrimps
there's
Radio,
a Venn diagram, but I think that Venn diagram is me. So
yeah, if you're not with Gorley and Rust super fan, then maybe you missed the reference.
Yes.
I was there too. Yes, exactly.
Of course. Okay. Shall we dig into some Goosebumps?
Do it.
Okay, so
Let's.
One of my favorite things to do with any comedy movie is I pay attention to what the first joke of the movie is and see if that sets a tone for the rest of the movie.
Sure.
The first joke of this movie for babies, this children's movie, is a joke about Guantanamo Bay Prison in Cuba. And It's
Also opening on a Shining
yes,
reference.
and just
Something
like
that comes up repeatedly. They run this
Yes.
Shining reference throughout the movie.
Oh yeah, no, it's a running gag.
and it's perfect. Both.
Holy shit, right down to the freezing. I never realized that.
Yeah,
but-
both of them are perfect. It sets the tone for like this is a kids movie, but also like the adults can have fun at it too. The dumb kids won't realize that the first joke in it is a reference to one of the worst atrocities ever committed by the United States government.
To
that
this
we're
day.
still
That we're
committing.
still committing.
And I think
no-
most kids are tangentially aware of Guantanamo Bay bad, or at least Guantanamo Bay sad, but they don't know.
But by 2015,
Right, the
yes.
kids, when they're watching Fortnite streams and ninjas talking about the atrocities of Guantanamo Bay, kids are hip today. Kids are in the know.
Right.
Yeah, and they rightfully, they leave it at that. They don't have like Lindy England come through and point at a monster who's been chained up or something. But I really,
Slappy's not wearing a hood.
I remember whenever I saw this movie in theaters, because I did see this in theaters, being pleasantly surprised. Because I was just going to be like, I want to see something spooky. It's October, and when the Guantanamo Bay joke came up, I was like, oh, hold up, there might be more to this movie than just it's spooky. But yeah, so we follow a mom and a son, Zach, and I cannot recall the mom's name.
Mom.
And they're moving to
Mom.
It's
mom.
Gail,
Yeah, they're moving
for the
to,
record, but it's like the character does not have a real name. Her name is Amy Ryan. The actor's name, when you're referring to this character, you don't go Gail, you go Amy Ryan. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
You're like, Gone Baby Gone herself, Amy Ryan.
But the mom and son, they're moving to Madison, Delaware from New York, and they move in to a neighborhood next to a creepy house. And that's where, shortly after moving into that creepy house, or next door to that creepy house, Zach meets a literal girl next door, Hannah, and Hannah's creepy dad, Jack Black.
Joe Biden.
Yes. This happens later on, but what I really appreciate about this movie is, though it's a kid's movie, it doesn't talk down to children. There's some very adult themes in this movie.
Sure.
There's a sequence that we'll get there where like the main character of this movie thinks his love interest is being beaten by her father. Like, that happens in this kid's movie.
That's some real Book of Henry shit. But instead of planning an assassination, Zach decides to call the police.
Yes. And like,
who are as unhelpful as you might expect them to be.
No, Goosebumps is a cat.
I think so.
I smiled so big watching this movie this time because a Movies for Baby staple. It's a chance for us to shit on cops, but also in this movie they are literal bad cops. They are bad at what they do.
But they're very.
They are bad.
They're
cops.
very funny.
We don't. Yes.
True to form. They come to a domestic dispute prepared to
They
shoot.
come prepared to shoot, but they ask the purported abuser, like, "Did you abuse anyone?" And he's like, "No." And they're like, "Sounds good to me. See you, sir."
We don't plan for this on Movies for Babies.
Good night, Mr. Shivers.
We don't plan for this on this show.
It just keeps happening. I don't think Fantastic Mr. Fox has a lot of cops, so I think we might have a light November as far as
it will happen. It will happen again in December if we stick to the plan. It will happen again in December. But as far as I know, it does not happen in Fantastic Mr. Fox. Could be wrong. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, we could have watched 90 minutes of White Noise and we'd still have something to say about the cops. But
White Noise sounds like the police.
Exactly. Precisely.
That was good. Good job, Justin.
And of course, keeping the joke alive, if we were to watch 90 minutes of a black screen, we would say, and then a police officer started punching my TV. we would find it no matter what.
Holy Christ.
So speaking of unpacking, they unpack while they're moving, and they find a picture of Zach's dad, and they reveal that Zach's father has passed away. That is important for later on in the movie, and my big criticism of the movie.
I've seen nothing to the contrary. I think this movie probably in one draft had a different ending, because it seems as if they are perfectly building up to Zach and RL. No, I was going to say that they fill the void left by Hannah with each other. It seems like we are exactly building up to Zach and R.L. Stine become friends. He's kind of a surrogate father, but he's really just like a friend.
Yeah, a found
It really
family.
seems like that's what we're building up to. And with the...
Yeah.
It's the same thing with my missing father thing in, like, E.T. I'm like, what? Is E.T. supposed to be his dad? What is the theme? And so, like, it sorry. But
no, that's just... No. When we inevitably do a Steven Spielberg movie, we'll get into that.
Sure, let's do Tintin.
Hell yeah.
Tintin fucking slaps. But anyway,
the third best Indiana Jones movie.
You know what? I'm gonna sit right here on this podcast. First best Indiana Jones movie. Tintin rules. But anyway, it seems like the movie is building towards that conclusion.
Makes sense.
And to compare it again to Rob Letterman's Detective Pikachu, the missing dad thing is the resolution of Detective Pikachu. Mm-hmm. And this movie seems like it is also building up to that, and then just does it.
Yeah.
And that feels like a rewrite.
Well, like, I thought the movie, when they first... Well, I thought this movie... Well, actually, no. I'll talk about this when we get to the twist.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So, it's a typical, like... Zach is he's moved into a new place. We can discover this world with him. He moves in. It's his first day of school, but turns out his mom is the principal of the school, and he's very
vice principal.
He's very embarrassed by that, but also nothing really comes of it. But it's fine. It's fine. Highlight of this sequence where we meet the sidekick in this movie of the movie during the sequence, but I mean, really, the highlight here is Ken Marino as the gym teacher. I will sign up for anything Ken Marino's in. Just makes my day anytime I see Ken Marino.
He's one of the funniest, most dependable dudes out there.
Absolutely,
he will get a laugh out of whatever he's in. Yes. Fucking Party Down, as Ron Donald is one of the finest performances on a television show. Like, it really is exceptional. He's always... I just wish there were more.
Yes.
He only gets, like, one or two occasions to be funny. I just want more of him. I don't know what to tell you.
Very, very funny, very gifted comedic performer. Just big Ken Marino stan over here.
Absolutely. And this is also... We are also, at this point, introduced to Lorraine.
Yes.
Played by... Jillian Bell, and this is when Jillian Bell is on a fucking run, y'all. This is Jillian Bell. Like, Workaholics is starting to gain like popularity, and she's a big supporting character on that show. And then she's fucking 22 Jump Street, and then it's off to the races, baby.
Yeah, she's
she's
hilarious.
Goosebumps the night before. She's the best. She's so fucking funny.
Yes, very, very funny. She's the aunt.
Just the thirsty aunt.
Yes.
And, it's an archetype we love to see, and she fills it out perfectly. She just does that to a T.
Absolutely nails it. She sells, she does...
Bedazzled
shit. Rhinestoned, she gives Zach a rhinestoned New York Yankees hat.
Great.
It's great. She's very, very, very funny.
She bedazzles her parking spot. Just awesome.
Yeah, it's all good. Jillian Bell, a weapon when she hits the fucking werewolf with her car. Her like little relationship with R.L. Stine. It's all good.
Yes.
It's all very good.
Absolutely.
And it's in the bedazzled New York Yankees cap that our hero Zach meets the love interest, one of my a frankly bizarre trope that appears over and over again, where the new boy in town finds himself next door to a pretty girl of appropriate age, and they just start, like, relentlessly flirting.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
it's the Peter Parker phenomena.
It's a Peter Parker, but, like, the Way Back that I watched this summer, like, has this same trope. It appears over and over and over again.
As Vern says, it's the girl next door.
Yes.
Right, sure. The Girl Next Door, starring Elijah Cuthbert as a Playboy bunny. We all remember this movie with Emile Hirsch. We all remember.
And Paul Dano, right?
I think so.
Paul Dano?
I think he's like the creepy friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was, seeing movies like this as a young kid where, like, the main character fell in love with a girl next door, always just, like, as a young kid, just, like, really upset me because, like, I lived in a town with no children whatsoever. And so, like, all my friends were friends I made at school, which was another town over, and I'd hear, like, they fell in love with the girl next door, and I'm like, must be fucking nice. I mean, I'm married, so it all worked out. But, they start relentlessly flirting with each other. Jack Black, who's later on, he's living under a pseudonym or a fake name, but later on in the movie it's revealed that he's R.L. Stine. He does...
Yeah, Mr. Shivers.
Mr. Shivers. He does not approve of this burgeoning relationship between Zach and Hannah. And really, like, makes it known how much he does not approve of it, to a degree that he is legitimately scary. And as I say, like, later on, the main character... Go ahead.
It's such a nice... Well, like, Jack Black is a very good heel, but he's so charming that he isn't really allowed to play it very much.
Yeah.
So when he does do it, it's always very surprising.
It happened this time whenever I watched this movie. He looks so much like someone else I know, or like in media, as R.L. Stine, but I don't know who it is, and it was bothering me like crazy. I don't know if you guys had any kind of feeling like that whatsoever, but Jack Black as R.L. Stine looks like someone, but I don't know who. Leave a comment, comment, subscribe if you know who Jack Black looks like.
Leave a 5-star iTunes review and tell us who Jack Black as R.L. Stine reminds you of.
Yes. It might be my friend Caleb, but I don't know. But anyway, but
he's very good. It's
yes, our listeners will of course recognize Vern's friend Caleb.
Vern is, of course, referring to Caleb Landry Jones from
yes.
Get Out and X-Men First Class.
Yes.
But it's good. And Jack Black is walking this wonderful line of being very animated, very vibrant, but he doesn't obliterate the movie around him. It's just this great thing that Jack Black is almost uniquely adept at, of being broad, but not destroying the reality of what you're occupying.
Yes. Good point. I never realized that. But yeah, this movie needs, like, colorful characters, and he is one, but he does not break the movie by being so aggressively him.
And it doesn't feel like, I mean, to call back to another Movies for Babies, or one of the progenitors, Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Like, when Jim Carrey rolls into that movie, you are completely ripped with both hands out of the movie, because it's just Jim Carrey doing Jim Carrey shtick. The Jack Black is doing Jack Black stuff, but he is a character. Like, this is not what Jack Black always does. He's dialed in to this character who happens to be very silly and very funny, like all the other supporting characters.
Jack Black would have been a very good Dr. Robotnik.
Agree 100%.
Now I'm angry. He made me angry about what could have been.
The more I think about it, like, he's perfect. Why didn't they? I mean, I know why they didn't, because Jim Carrey's a bigger box office draw for some reason. But Jack Black would have been perfect.
Is he, though? I mean, I guess overall, like, if you take his entire career span into account, like, Jim Carrey is a much more bankable star. But in the year of our Lord 2020, is Jim Carrey...
Well,
had been since Yes Man had been dormant.
look at who's doing SNL cameos and look at who's doing Let's Plays with their son.
And guess who's doing a better job at what they're doing?
I'm not saying that one's doing better. I'm saying in terms of like general public consciousness.
Sure.
But also
there's an imbalance.
But also, and granted, is due to circumstances beyond anyone's control. But Sonic the Hedgehog is the highest grossing movie of 2020.
As God intended.
As God intended. It was a movie that was not supposed to come out, and because it came out, it broke the world. Jack Black should have been.
Sonic brought the plague from his dimension into our world.
It was I call COVID the long claw disease, and her death sent it out into the world.
Turns out COVID actually comes from the spores of that mushroom land that Jim Carrey is in at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's the craziest thing.
Guys, I've got a terrible condition. It's called ringworm.
I mean, to be fair, the world has been plunged into chaos. In our Skype chat that is still named after Sonic the Hedgehog. Anyway.
Yeah, blue hell. I will never change it.
This is, I didn't realize how strong this beer was, so this episode's going to be way different.
I like it. No, this is the right zone. This is the right energy.
We're in the right headspace to talk about Goosebumps.
Yeah, it's all works out.
So we get to school and we get my favorite character, perhaps the most wholesome pickup artist ever put to cinema.
And also just
Champ?
The biggest nerdlinger. He's biggest dork. He steps up and he's wearing a green shirt that has 2 Mickey Mouse fingers pointing up at his face that says, "This is the cool kid," or whatever it is.
No, I wrote it down. It's 2 thumbs pointing to him with the words, "This kid is
That's
cool."
right, yes.
And I want that shirt now.
Yeah.
Because, oh God, I would have worn that. I was deep into graphic tees at that age, where to the point that it would annoy some of the girls in my classes.
Of course.
Hell yeah, baby.
Like, where they would say, "Justin, you keep wearing a shirt that shirt that says, 'This is my video gaming shirt.'" This is the 3rd time you've worn it this week. Stop it.
But to be fair, it was your video gaming shirt, and that's what you're doing a lot of.
It was my video. I was gaming in those days.
But this is now y'all are talking about my boy Ryan Lee as Champ, and Ryan Lee is one of those dependable ass kid actors. He's one of the kids in Super 8. He's on an episode of Community as part of Senor Chang's Child Army. He's on an episode of like Breaking Bad. Like anytime you need a dorky looking kid, you got this kid. He's in fucking This Is 40. He's in like he will show up on any of these things. He was one of the kids on the short-lived but very good sitcom Trophy Wife. He was one of the kids on that. He's just a dependable utility player when you need a dorky looking kid, and he walks the "I'm the comic relief member of the cast" line in this movie about as well as I've ever seen it walked. That, like, he's funny, he's charming, it's not overwhelming, it's not too much. He has a lot of those, what I'm going to call mom laughers, where if you're seeing this movie in the theater and, like, he makes, like, a no homo joke, or he's like...
Oh, no, that's the thing, it wasn't no homo. That's why I love Champ. He's a gay for play kid. He's the, "Hey, Zach, wouldn't it be weird if we kissed for attention?" Wouldn't that be crazy? Do you think that'd get girls to like me if I kissed you, Zach, now?
Sure, but he's taking selfies with R.L. Stein. His phone gets thrown out of the car, and he like goes like, "Ooh," like it's a mom laugher, and
he's the ideal Shaggy Rogers.
I think fuck Drake Bell. He's the ideal live-action Timmy Turner.
Yeah.
Oh, damn!
He's got...
Like, if I was recasting.
In this movie...
my God, yes!
In this movie, he has the teeth for it.
He's got the teeth for it.
He's-
And I don't
man.
mean that
He is a
in a negative
teeth-forward lad.
Those teeth are one of the best gifts you can have as a child actor.
Are those
Right?
not fake? Are those real teeth?
Oh,
Every
no.
movie I've seen him in, he's had big, prominent
Oh
charms.
my goodness.
Those are the teeth of a future gifted character actor.
Okay, I thought that
Right.
those were gimmicks.
No,
those are
he's had
all
those teeth in
natural,
it.
baby.
And if you look at, like, his IMDb picture, it looks like he's really, like, growing into his own face.
Yeah.
But, boy, those chompers are a fucking gift if you're trying to be a child actor. You can ask for almost nothing
man.
better than those fucking buck teeth.
It gives him a look.
And it's
you know?
great for the screenwriter of Goosebumps because then you don't have to write in the line like about him wetting his pants. Like you kind of the audience takes it for like, of course he does. You know what I mean? Like you just look at that kid, you can tell that he's a bedwetter. You don't need a screenwriter to write that line in to sell.
That's the exact energy he brings.
It's it all works out. He's
He wears a full suit and sneakers for the majority of the film.
Rules.
yeah.
We stand for Champ.
Yeah, Champ.
We love Champ.
Champ's great. He's a total nerdlinger, but he's great.
Also with the best backstory I've heard for a supporting character in a very long time.
I cannot recall it. What was it?
Oh, his parents are both low-scoring Olympians. Like, they're both bronze medalists.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So they named him Champion.
Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect. That they are both bronze medal Olympian. That's beautiful.
And then later on
That's
in
a
the
beautiful
movie,
little
he gets called Chump by someone who does not
Yeah.
it's great.
By the hot
Yes.
babe.
Yeah. Glad that's not any other version of this movie. The hot babe is the girl that they end up going on the adventure with, right? Like this hot school babe is the third, but they smartly go a completely different direction with it with Hannah, who looks like Mila Kunis stepped out of a fucking time machine.
Not trying to be offensive or whatever, but she looks like a normal person. She does not look like a movie star. You know what I mean?
She's very pretty.
Yes.
It's one of those things where it's like, y'all know Rebecca Hall, and in every movie Rebecca Hall is in, she's always cast as like the second hottest woman. And you're like, oh, she looks like a normal person by movie standards. But I've met Rebecca Hall in real life, and you're like, Jesus Christ, this is the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. It's just one of those weird movie things where our expectations are adjusted.
I know I keep going on it. She's the girl next door. She's a normal-looking girl that the chemically perfect male lead can fall in love with.
Yeah. Now, of course, listeners would throw rocks at me if I didn't mention it. The chemically perfect male lead is indeed Jack Shephard's son from the alternate timeline on Lost. It's just, I think it would be wrong of me to not mention it even once.
No, I'm into it. I'm sorry. I got curious because I have a terrible time. Like, I'll know actors' names and I'll know actors' faces, but I cannot place them together. And I had to look up Rebecca Hall. For a second I thought she was in the Halloween sequel, the most recent one, but different actress, not Rebecca Hall. But also
Rebecca Hall, the brunette from The Prestige.
She was in the Wonder Woman movie, like the other, the good one.
Oh, Professor Marston and the Wonder
Wonder Women.
Yes. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's a murderer who plays Wonder Woman, not Rebecca Hall. Yeah, but you're right. She's she's in everything. She works. She's in Iron Man 3. She books. She works. Yeah. And anyway, that was my weekly praise for actor Rebecca Hall.
Becoming a staple of movies for babies. Kevin gushing over a lesser-known character actress from a movie. Last time it was I cannot remember her name from Blazing
Madeline
Saddles.
Kahn. Madeline
Kahn.
Madeline Kahn.
Y'all, I just rewatched Clue. I'm gonna go ahead and campaign for Clue for next October.
It was in the pitch.
Fuck it, next summer. It's an all-season movie.
I agree with you.
It was pitched for October. That and Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
I just rewatched Clue. Still fucking rips.
Absolutely.
Dude. Still Madeline Kahn, and you have Leslie Ann Warren as Miss Scarlet, and you just have like this killer lineup of character actors. Michael McKean, Tim Curry. That movie still rules.
Yeah,
rules.
Martin Mull.
But
Martin Mull is in it.
So at this point in Goosebumps, after like we meet the kids, is this when the domestic abuse scene happens, or does the Ferris wheel scene happen?
The Ferris wheel happens first. Hannah and Zach go on a date on a Ferris wheel. Getting to know you, like typical like first date in a movie. Really,
it's a real John Green ass.
Go to your classic derelict amusement.
And actually, very lovely. It was very nice. Charming. Very nice to watch it. Gave me some feelies.
Soft Christmas lights.
It was after that where they come home. Jack Black discovers that his daughter's been out, and there's a scene where in this movie, like the main character, and it appears this way to the audience. It appears to the main character as well that like Hannah's getting beaten by her father, and it's really like heavy for a movie like this. It's really heavy for any movie, but it's heavy for a movie based off a Scholastic book property. And he calls the police. The Movies for Babies gang rejoices because there are actual literal bad cops that appear in this movie. And
very, very funny bad cops, Veeps,
they're
Timothy
rooting
Simons.
and ready for some shooting.
One of them, they don't make a pedophile joke, but a pedophile joke is made in the movie. Zach's like, what about the screams? And turns out R.L. Stein's been watching, quote unquote, he's been watching a horror movie. And he says, is there something wrong with being an audiophile? And then Amanda Lund grabs her gun and says, "A what?"
No, that's Jeffrey Epstein's classic defense.
Oh, gotcha.
They got it. They wrote it down.
Oh, gotcha.
That joke fucking cracked me up, dude. I don't know what.
That was.
It's a great joke, but in this movie for babies, there is a reference to pedophilia.
That is almost greeted with a cop shooting.
It's one of those brainy jokes you leave for the parents.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a way Homer.
Absolutely.
Oh, she meant pedophile.
But it's very heavy for this. This movie is bold. This is a bold movie, and it's jokes about pedophilia and it's references to domestic abuse. It takes chances. This movie, but all those chances pay off.
Goosebumps walked so Book of Henry could run.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because the cops are inept and incompetent, and also because the police in this movie are bad, Zach calls a nerd he calls Champ to help save Hannah. They plan a break-in. They're going to break into R.L. Stein's house. Zach poses as the police, calls R.L. Stein and says they need him for further questioning. So R.L. Stein will get out of the house. He calls Champ to be a lookout, and he goes to break in the house to see how Hannah is doing. And he finds a bookcase full of locked books. He opens one, and the abominable snowman of Pasadena breaks free. These books are enchanted. The books in this movie serve as Pokeballs. Maybe why Rob Letterman got a chance to direct Detective Pikachu after this. But the books hold the monsters. Turns out the stuff that R.L. Stein has stranger than fiction disease. And
the stuff that he writes becomes real.
Yes.
Right.
The stuff that he writes becomes real. I don't think...
But it's interesting that, like, none of the very memorable child characters come roaring out of these books. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the monsters.
Yes.
None of the litany of well-developed human characters.
He says that's what he cares about. That's what he created to cope with. It was really the monsters who helped him cope with his loneliness, not the kids.
It is perfect logic for what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like, it is... I need nothing more than that. You have established the rules. The movie follows them all the way through. The monsters get out of the books if you open the book.
It's a...
Great. Done. That's all I need.
It's a movie that, like, does not really hold up under any sort of scrutiny, but also it doesn't need to. If you're scrutinizing this movie, you're watching it wrong. It's not about the logic, it's about the adventure.
It holds up to its own internal logic, which is all I would ask a movie like that. Like, does that make any sense? No, like, fuck you. It doesn't, but it doesn't matter.
No.
That, like, the Goosebumps says, monsters in book, you open book, monster get out, you can put monster back in book. How does this happen? I don't know. R.L. Stein's really good at writing monsters, so they became real. And that is the movie's explanation for it. And they Groundhog Day it, right? Where it's like, why does this happen? I don't know, just does. This is the way it is.
It's technically from the blob. The magic typewriter is from the blob that ate everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's about a kid who starts writing a story about a blob that eats everyone, and it comes to life stranger than fiction style.
You know, I wanted to say, this is something I've been sitting on for a long time, and it just so happened to come up here. Like, people need to realize that there is a difference between plot and story, and
100%.
People will look at something like this, or they'll look at, I don't know, for example, Bruce Wayne showing back up in Gotham after being trapped in a prison in Dark Knight Rises. And they'll look at that and they're like, this plot sucks. And it's like, no. The story does not require the logic for how everything happened. The story requires that Bruce Wayne shows back up. The story requires the monsters get loose from the books. Just have fun with it. But people will, like, rag on, like, these little perceived, like, inconsistencies or these perceived, like, wrongs that the movie commits. And it's like, the movie is not about that. Now, if Goosebumps were based on a true story, and in real life, in Madison, Delaware, a bunch of monsters broke free, and it circumvented that and was trying to do something else with this movie, then maybe you have a chance to be like, well, this doesn't make sense, but... It's a fucking Goosebumps movie, and it's a movie for kids. Like, it doesn't matter. And I get really frustrated.
Thankfully, the Cinnamon Sins episode is only about 15 minutes long.
It's...
I mean, I cannot get out my axe to grind this out, but when we talk about movies, we focus too much on plot.
Yes.
And people ignore that, like, story is a separate identity.
Yes.
So, like, one of the most common complaints I see, and I need to just, like, log off the internet, but one of the most common complaints I see is, like, you know, Black Widow is, like, a super trained spy. Why would she make this mistake? And I'm like, because people make mistakes, and, like, that's part of what the fucking movie is about, is that, like, people make mistakes and they need to make up for it. You know what I mean? Like, people are... It's the story... Story is where plot meets theme, and we completely... You know, we were talking about it pre-record, but, like, so many plot holes in The Last Jedi are caked over if you start looking at it from a story perspective instead of a plot perspective. That, like, the story we're telling is about, like, fallen idols and redeeming yourself after a grave mistake or
finding your own power.
Yes, and it all lines up on a story level, but the only way, and CinemaSins is a big part of this, and even places I like Red Letter Media, are a big factor of this, that, like, we only look at plot when a movie is so... I mean, the plot should make sense, but a movie is also much more than its plot. Like, it's not the only metric by which we can judge the validity of a story.
And also, like, people need to realize, like, logic... A movie can follow a logic, but it's not there's different types of logic a movie can follow, and there's so many things that I really enjoy that get ragged on, but like, and they'll say like, oh, that doesn't make sense. But the thing is, those things follow an emotional logic. There are things that like, yes, if you break it down in a physical sense, that does not make sense at all. But emotionally, this makes sense, and emotionally, this tracks. And
absolutely,
and it's just it's different flavors. One is Coke, one is Pepsi, one is Sprite, one is Mountain Dew. It's not saying that Mountain Dew is a terrible drink. I mean, it is, but it's not saying like, you know what I mean? It's like people need to realize, okay, this movie is this flavor. It's not that this flavor is bad. This flavor is done well. It's just not a flavor that I like drinking. And this Goose. There's little things like that, like in this movie. Also, it's a movie for kids. It does not matter. But also, like, this movie follows its logic to a T, and that's all. Exactly. That's all you should ask for in a movie. One of the few things you should ask for in a movie.
The quibble you could come up with, and there's only like one that springs to mind, is like, why doesn't R.L. Stine just not write Hannah into his big Capture All the Monsters book? Like, why doesn't he write just literally everyone but Hannah? But the movie says, like, it's got to be all the monsters or none of the monsters. And it, until the last, like, 30 seconds, it sticks to that idea. And they tell me these are the stakes and this is what needs to happen, and for the most part they stick to that. And that is good popcorn movie storytelling.
But also that last 30 seconds is a wink to the audience. It's not like that last 30 seconds of the movie is more like it's your dessert. You know what I mean? It's not there to at a certain point when everything is resolved in the movie, things should be resolved in your brain. You know what I mean? It's just there for fun. Jesus, like, come on. Anyway, I've been sitting on that for a long time, and it didn't work for a Kevern, so I'm happy I could bust it out in this. They let the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena out. It goes to the ice rink because it's cold there, and
checks out.
They try to trap him in the book. They fail, but R.L. Stine succeeds. R.L. Stine has followed them there. And this is where we learn that Mr. Shivers is actually R.L. Stine, that these books, as I said, they serve as Pokeballs, blah, 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 blah. They get... Is it while they're out driving or whenever they get back to their house, they realize all the other books have been opened?
That's when they start driving, because they have to leave, because they accidentally let the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena out, and they have to go find him. And then Slappy gets himself out.
It doesn't. Yeah, he is Slappy, the ventriloquist doll. He just kind of
doesn't the Abominable Snowman knock over some books on his way out? Do I remember that incorrectly?
That probably happened.
No, he doesn't. Like, they take some books out, but they put them on the desk, and then there's just the book just sitting there, and then it clicks open, and that's
gotcha.
to show that Slappy got himself out somehow.
But also,
he's a clever guy.
But also, it doesn't matter. It's also Slappy is voiced by Jack Black, so that's something I wish happened. I don't know, more. I'm a huge sucker for double and triple casting. I think it's just I don't know. I think it's just such a fucking cool trick. Bless you.
To see one actor, be multiple things in one movie.
Absolutely.
And if it's thematically resonant, it's even better.
Sure. You got it makes, like, quote unquote logical sense because he is a ventriloquist dummy. So he would potentially, like, his voice would come from the operator.
Jack Black's.
So having Jack Black do it, I think it's beautiful. I don't know who else you would do. It's perfect.
And then also you can just follow that thing where, like, with Slappy having Jack Black's voice, that is the creation of Jack Black that is closest to Jack Black, so it would be working on this.
It's an extension of a direct extension of it.
So it would have... I mean, it's the ringleader of all the other monsters. it would know. You could just wager that like it would know how to get out of the book or something. It's just like, also it's a movie for kids. Who cares? It's a spooky movie. Just enjoy the spooky movie. Slappy sets all the other monster books free, and he performs he burns them. It's
hell yeah, in the Hellblazer or whatever, like Hell Charger,
sure,
whatever like the name of the Hell car is. That rules. He's got like Ghost Rider's
it's got
car.
a license plate that says haunted on it.
It's
great, good.
Christine, but not Christine. It's it's the Goosebumps
in
Christine.
One of the many ways R.L. Stein would resent that comparison, you bastard.
It's
monster.
It's Geraldine.
It's Chris. It's a boy car. But yeah, good shit. He sets all the monsters loose, and it's like bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. Here's the movie, baby.
It's Geraldine.
All the basic monster archetypes.
Slappy is riding around on Flip Wilson's back because it's not Christine, it's Geraldine. That's a joke for me. One of the monsters that gets released
got nothing for you
is a bunch of garden gnomes. And they
These
the
guys
night of
rule.
the killer lawn
yes,
gnomes.
and they Gulliver's Travel Jack Black for a second time.
Also
which
Rob
Letterman
Letterman joint.
did direct.
Indeed.
Yeah, exactly. A Rob Letterman joint, which almost makes me want to check out Gulliver's Travels. Like, I'm like, is this movie secretly dope? And I just haven't known this whole time.
I heard I read like bad reviews of it when it came out.
I did too, but people have been wrong fucking before.
There are two things I know about Gulliver's Travels, that movie with Jack Black. The first is that it's starring Jack Black. The second is that there were 2 seasons of Survivor in a row where there was a reward challenge themed around a movie that was coming out, and the reward for that challenge, if you won, was you got to watch that movie. And the first of those 2 was Gulliver's Travels. And
oh my god!
And the challenge,
just give yourself trench foot at that point. Just fall in a tiger pit.
Well,
you'll be better. Then you can just go home.
Well,
I've been pooping in my own hands and getting fucked over by some guy named Rob for 3 months. But thank God I get to
oh
see
no! I ate a
Gulliver's.
salamander and I'm sick. Let me leave.
I got it. Well, we'll get to that, but real quick, the challenge for the Gulliver's Travels challenge was the tribe had to carry a giant Jack Black through an obstacle course.
Oh my god, that's so good!
But
It was themed.
But you guys were doing a bit. This is a real thing. The next
I believe I take it back. That is so good. That's fucking
good.
cool.
That is a real thing, but you guys were just doing a different bit, and that bit you were doing is a real thing. The next season of Survivor, it was Survivor, I believe it was Survivor South Pacific, but I could be wrong. The reward challenge, if you won, was you got to watch a screening of Jack and Jill, and and this is a true story. The person who won that season came out and revealed this. Halfway through the movie, they said, "Can we go back to camp? This sucks."
I'd rather be in the cold and wet than have to keep watching Jack and Jill.
They
playing Twister with your
movie
sister.
safe environment.
They hated it. At a certain point, what happened was because they were getting restless and they were getting ready to leave, and so a PA all told them to all right, on the count of 3 you will laugh, on the count of 3 you'll react this way. So all the reactions to Jack and Jill in that episode is all fake. It's all reactions to a PA telling them how they should react to this movie they're quote unquote watching.
I love that. I can't believe you haven't told me that sooner. That's fucking gorgeous.
Oh my god.
It's my favorite story. Sophie Clark was the winner of that season. She's the one who told that story, and the right person won that season.
God.
It's great.
Oh my
Man,
God.
that's fucking beautiful. Since we've mentioned all his other directorial efforts, I just want to lay down the full Rob Letterman filmography.
Yes, please.
2004. With Shark Tale.
Yeah, 2004. He directed Shark Tale.
Holy shit!
Which doesn't feel like his fault. 2009. He does Monsters vs. Aliens, which is kind of a secretly dope little movie. Not like
better than it has any right to be.
Yeah, not an all-time great by any stretch of the imagination, but like as a fucking DreamWorks 50s B sci-fi movie homage, pretty good. Pretty good little flick. And then it's Gulliver's Travels.
As one of the few movies that DreamWorks actually had to come up with themselves.
Right,
instead of adapting an obscure property.
Sure. And then Gulliver's Travels, Goosebumps, Detective Pikachu, and that's all we've gotten so far. But a remarkably strong kids filmography.
Absolutely.
I think.
Yeah.
On the whole, I think Preparation H feels good. On the whole, a good filmography, even though Shark Tale has become like a Shrek level internet meme at this point.
I don't know if it's
no, except like Shrek, there's a weird like irony that you can like get from it, because Shrek is itself a sort of irony poisoned story.
Absolutely.
But Shark Tale is wholly sincere to its own detriment.
This is also a remarkably Jack Black-centric career.
Yeah.
3 out of 5 movies
we're getting,
feature Jack.
We're getting David Linklater levels of collaboration.
Richard Linklater, but yeah, I get you.
What did I say, David?
Yeah, you said David. I think you were thinking Letterman.
David Letterman.
Yeah, but Richard Linklater.
David Linklater.
You know what? 2 directors who get the best out of Jack Black. Rob Letterman and Richard Linklater. Because Richard Linklater did both School of Rock and Bernie, which are the 2 best Jack Black performances.
You know, and that movie wasn't nominated for Best Picture, but if it was, Bernie would have won.
I hate you. I wish... I hate this. No, good joke.
I'm good to call a podcast there.
I mean,
I'm not going to get any better. I'm not going to.
That was very good. But so all the garden gnomes show up, and
it's garden gnomes, and then the giant bug. So we go little monsters to one big monster to one human-shaped monster, which is the werewolf of Fever Swamp.
Yes,
the gnomes are a great subset of horror movie villainy. They're a bunch of little skittery guys,
little bastards.
You know,
the gremlins.
Yeah, they're gremlins. They're
critters,
ghoulies, critters.
They're Chucky dolls. They're little bastards. Yeah, it's they're
little bastards, and I actually find little bastards way more upsetting than like a giant praying mantis.
Absolutely.
It's the little bastards that I find just horrifying, and they are of course temporarily dispatched by R.L. Stein's basement full of bear traps.
He knew that movie. He was. Precautions. For
he knew the monsters might get out.
It's
he knew they might get out.
Yeah, it all works out. They escape the garden gnomes. The police get frozen by aliens with freeze rays. They show up and Slappy's there, and he sends some aliens in and they freeze them.
Slappy
they freeze
everybody.
Slappy's doing this bit where he's wearing a little police hat, and at one point he freezes someone. I think it's Jillian Bell, and he says, "You have the right to remain silent." And I was like, oh, he just did the line. I thought he would put a little Slappy spin on it.
No,
you have the right to remain frozen.
It's still technically a joke because she can't talk anymore.
Yeah, but
it's not quite the joke.
You would think he was about to say
it has the inflection of a joke.
The right to remain frozen
protect
or something.
And serve.
Right. The right to remain frigid.
Yes.
Yeah, any of those, but he just says silent. And that honestly got like a laugh out of me. I'm like, oh, he just said the thing.
The obvious choice would have been for him to say freeze, but
freeze. Stop in the name of the law.
Yeah, but he says you have the right to remain silent. It's a great non-joke.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun nun.
So, like, at this point, it's revealed that, like, so earlier in the movie, it says that, like, there's a little, very understated kind of thing in this movie where, like, R.L. Stine has this chip on his shoulder where he thinks everyone thinks he's a hack. And, like, he gets very upset when being compared to Stephen King earlier. He talks about how well his books have done internationally, like, how much they've sold. And earlier in the movie...
I mean, this movie was produced by Scholastic,
yes,
so...
But earlier in the...
They gotta get that product placement in there.
Of course.
But I'm glad that R.L. Stine had, like, a sense of humor about it. That he...
Yes.
I assume... You know, he's in the movie. I assume he had some level of oversee and approval. And he's not afraid to let the R.L. Stine character be kind of a buffoon. Like, the movie is still, like, very clear, like... He is a skilled writer. Like, his words are so real that the monsters leap from the very page.
Well, they do this thing earlier in the movie where R.L. Stine leads Zach and Hannah and everyone else, the audience, to believe that, like, it is because he's such a skilled writer. But then later on, they call him on it, and he's like, well, I'm a skilled writer, but also I have a magic typewriter.
But also I have a magic typewriter.
So, like, it's a very great little understated thing where, like, he's got that typical artist chip on his shoulder, and it's a nice little touch.
Right, and then he, like, has to write the final manuscript in a theater where they're putting on a high school theater production of The Shining, which sounds like the worst play of all time. Like, that seems so bad.
I mean, I don't know. Apparently, a high school did a really, really good staging of Alien.
Really?
Yeah,
To the point,
I saw,
like
a New Jersey
Sigourney
high
Weaver
school.
showed up.
Yeah. I also heard about that, and it seemed dope. I guess it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Like,
but
if anything, The Shining is an easier movie to stage.
but like
it's a bad choice for a high school because it requires 3 or 4 characters, and for a high school, you want to invite as many people to, you want to do a big musical. You want to.
Well, no, yeah, because you have to pack in all the students you can so you can justify the theater budget you're getting.
A better choice would have been for them to do
you...
Dr. Sleep.
Right. A better choice would have been to do, like, The Mist.
Yes.
But The Mist maybe doesn't have the same cultural carte blanche as cultural cachet, not carte blanche, as The Shining. The Shining has a lot of...
That's why they should have done The Stand.
Yeah. Honestly,
they should have done The Dark Tower.
Honestly, this high school should have done The Green Mile. They should have ended this production of one of the students getting put in the electric chair.
One of the students.
See, someone has to have done a theater production of The Green Mile.
I'm sure.
Like, that sounds very easy to stage.
I'm sure.
The Cajun student, like, throwing shit at their classmate. Green Mile, weird movie.
Also, y'all, it didn't get seen very much, but the Dr. Sleep movie is absolutely incredible.
I heard it was
very
dope.
good.
I heard it was really good.
Watch the director's cut. That movie feels like a novel reads. It's so great. I loved that movie.
That's got Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes.
Good cast. Good cast.
Incredible movie. But anyway, so they have to get this magic typewriter from R.L. Stine. They keep it in a trophy case at the school because R.L. Stine is one of their students are proud of.
Yeah, it's the hometown hero.
hero.
The typewriter's in the trophy case, mostly so that the climax of the movie can take place at the school dance. And that's fine. That's fine.
On their way to the school, they're attacked by the giant praying mantis. Their car gets overturned in a supermarket parking lot. They go inside the supermarket and they encounter the werewolf of Fever Swamp. And the werewolf ends up getting hit in the parking lot by the aunt, Jillian Bell.
Yeah. Also, just a shout out, the werewolf has I think my favorite detail on a werewolf design in that he has sneakers, but they're torn by his
Yeah.
huge legs, so they're just like around his shins.
Yeah, the sneakers are good, and he's wearing like basketball. If I remember that book, that's one of the few I read quite a number of Goosebumps books. I don't remember them all explicitly well, but Werewolf of Fever Swamp was one of my favorites. I think the basketball shorts was a detail of that character.
It makes sense. They're like the Incredible Hulk's pants, designed by Mr. Fantastic. They stretch and grow bigger with him as he transforms. It works.
Unstable molecules,
Yeah.
of course. That's the greatest. Okay, while we're talking about like little universe cheats, just like Stan Lee in the 60s just saying like, I don't know, unstable molecules, and that
Literally
justifies
through a coke haze. Just saying.
Yeah, and like that's one of the most beautifully simplistic ways to justify almost anything you could want to do, is just like unstable molecules. That sounds good. Unstable molecules, and then you get away with whatever you want. I like those. It's people overestimate or underestimate simplicity. Like just find a key phrase, something small, something easy, and then you don't have to worry about these things ever again. Anyway,
Absolutely. No, it's great. And that's another thing that people are like, how do his pants stay on? It's like, just watch the fucking thing. Just turn your brain off.
because they're books for babies.
Yes.
You can't show his wiener,
Yes.
so his pants get big.
That's why you don't see the Incredible Hulk's dong.
We
you
can't
idiot.
get that hog.
Yeah.
We just can't.
Yeah, we can't. The Comics Code Authority will not approve the hog, so his pants get big. Why he's wearing blue pants when he's not the Hulk, but they're purple when he's the Hulk? I don't know. Fuck you. I don't
Because
know.
purple
Eat
and
my
green
dick.
are visually pleasing. That's why. That's the literal reason why.
Yeah, they're complementary colors, motherfucker. It's comics color rules, right? The good guys are blue, white, and red. The bad guys are yellow, green, and purple. Fuck you. Like,
How it works.
I don't know what.
So they after they escape from the werewolf and the aunt helps them, they escape through a cemetery. Zach and Hannah share a moment. I keep wanting to say Zach Anner, who's a YouTuber, a very funny YouTuber. But anyway, Zach and Hannah,
Zach and Cody.
the sweet life of Zach and Cody. Zach and Hannah almost they share a moment and they almost kiss, but then she starts glowing. And that's whenever it's revealed, like, oh, she's a Stein creation. So much so that, like, when they're looking at the books, earlier in the movie, one of the books the camera lingers on is The Ghoul Next Door. That's the book she's from. Like, the movie has just a tiny little breadcrumb for you to follow and realize this before. But the movie tells you, oh, yeah, she's a ghost. And so now, obviously, Zach is conflicted because she's a creation.
I can't kiss a
I can't kiss a ghost. Also, this has to be a privately owned cemetery, or else they would not be allowed to film there. I learned that from Pat Turtles. So R.L. Stein, he goes to write on the set of the Shining high school play, and the kids go to warn the students at a dance where they're playing. I was just about to say they're playing Heads Will Roll by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, but that might be Halloween 2018. I watched these movies back to back.
No, they do play Heads Will
Okay,
Roll.
all right. Both movies feature a high school dance, and where everything gets disrupted. And I watched them one after the other, so I get confused.
Sure.
One after another being one day, and then the next day.
The song you would play during a Alice in Wonderland Red Queen themed burlesque show, Heads Will Roll.
Yes.
The theme song to Kate McKinnon's Evil Queen themed audio drama.
Well, like,
Available on Audible.
It has to be.
These dumb kids won't be, listening to Monster Mash. I didn't write this movie.
If I had it my way, it would just
They
be different
won't bump
versions
and
of
grind
Monster
to
Mash.
it. That's for
No,
certain.
not at all. They go to warn the students of the dance. The kids at the dance don't believe them. Until one of them gets eaten by a giant praying mantis, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a real deal.
There's this great moment where they get up on stage. Apparently, this is also like an homage to one of the books, where like they get up on stage at the dance, and they're like, the monsters are coming, we have to blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, yeah, right. And in the Goosebumps book, they're like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. And then they join the dance. But like in this movie, they cut to this guy who's up on the bleachers. He's like, yeah, there's a big like butthole. It's eating all our cars. And everyone's like, ha 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 ha. And then he's like, oh shit, there's a big praying mantis. And they're like, the joke's getting old, dude. And then
he like almost dies.
Yeah, he almost.
Like he is implied murdered until it's like confirmed he wasn't.
Yeah, it's a weird cut where it's like R.L. Stine comes into the classroom and says like, your teacher was injured by the creatures, and then we cut to this guy. So the visual language of cinema says that this fucking kid is the teacher of the English class.
Yeah.
That's what the language of cinema would denote.
I was confused by that because whenever they, at the end of the movie, whenever everything's resolved and it shows like everyone back at school, I'm like, they're all very chipper despite the fact that one of their teachers died, and then it shows that kid and he's wearing like the comical oversized like headgear and like the full body cast, and he's sitting in a class. I'm like, oh okay, he lived. And he lived and he's a student. Okay, gotcha. But there is like slight disconnect there. At one point, Slappy breaks R.L. Stine's fingers, so he can't continue to type on the typewriter. And so I can't recall exactly how it happens, but then R.L. Stine hops in a school bus and drives away because like the characters are looking, the monsters are looking for him because he has the power to stop them. But he lures the book monsters away while the main kids, Champ, Zach, and Hannah, all head to the abandoned carnival from earlier in the movie. And the school bus, there's a dummy school bus, and the school bus that the monsters think R.L. Stine is in explodes, and that burns majority of the monsters to a crisp. But Slappy's still there. I think the snowman's still there. There's a handful that are still pursuing the kids.
And they get reborn, like their ink reassembles.
That's right.
And
it just destabilizes the ink form.
That's right.
It gives our heroes time.
Yes. The kids head to the top. Excuse me. Before that, Slappy sets the blob that ate everything. He sets that free, and R.L. Stine gets trapped in that blob. So the kids head to the top of the Ferris wheel. And they have the magic typewriter, and they finish the story. They type out everything. But Zach is reluctant to finish the book because then he knows Hannah will disappear, and he's fallen in love with Hannah. Mm-hmm. And the movie does a very cool thing, which it quickly destroys, where Zach, as we mentioned earlier, like his father passed away. At a certain point, Zach learns to let go of the people he loves. And he realizes that the people you love, like, sometimes you have to let them go. And he accepts, like, he symbolically accepts his father's death. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment. And he finishes the story and lets go. And with that, Hannah is gone. The story is resolved. R.L. Stine gets a job teaching writing at the high school. That's where we learned the kid.
Yeah, he's the new English.
He's the new English teacher. There's a cameo where he runs into the real life R.L. Stine and he says, "Mr. Black," and R.L. Stine says, "Mr. Stine." Very cute.
Haha, cute. And he and Aunt Lorraine have become like a couple.
Yes.
They blow kisses to each other.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
they're both hot. It's great.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets a job as a writing teacher. And this is the mistake I think the movie makes. This is the mistake I think that the movie makes that keeps it from being a perfect movie and just makes it like a great movie. R.L. Stine writes Hannah back into existence, and it's that dumb thing that I hate in most movies. I was going to say kids movies, but like Star Trek Into Darkness does this. The Babiez does this. We're just like, stakes are important. They do it in Scoob. You learn to accept the loss of someone, and then 5 minutes later they're back on screen. Nothing happened. And like,
and we've said this multiple times on the show, right? And I'm not saying that every kids movie should end in Groot being dead, or Shaggy being trapped in the Greek underworld, or, you know, kids movies don't have to end with loss, but don't put it there.
yes,
And then walk
in a movie
it back
that is explicitly
immediately.
about dealing with loss.
yes,
Right? That, like, Zach's story is about processing the loss of his father and learning to move on from the people that he's lost. And if R.L. Stine has an arc in this movie, it's a similar arc, or learning to, like, live with himself and, like, manage his creativity in relation to living outside of his stories and rejoining society.
Yeah, it's learning to face reality.
That he's not going to be a hermit that moves town to town.
Cope and just be.
Right, to stop moving from town to town with your ghost daughter and just find a real person, form a real relationship, and deal with reality. And then these two have found each other as a way to, like, help heal their own personal wounds in this, like, unlikely friendship. And again, I'm not saying that, like, every movie has to be My Girl, but don't put it there and then not follow through on it.
yes. If it's don't introduce a concept that you can't, like, that you can't fully commit to.
Like, when I saw Logan in theaters, and spoilers for Logan, at the end of that movie, Wolverine dies. And it's the full culmination of not only that movie, but that character's arc across 20 years of movie making. And like, he has rebirthed the X-Men, the only thing that's ever meant anything to him, and given his daughter a life to live so that he can die and know that the good work will continue. And at the end of that movie, when we cut to black, a woman in my audience says out loud to everyone, "I thought he was going to bust out of them rocks." And Logan, to its credit, he does not bust out of them rocks. But so
He ain't
many
busting
other
no rocks.
But so many other movies, they do bust out of them
Yes.
rocks.
I mentioned Beavis earlier, and, like, the last shot of Beavis is
Batman versus Superman. For anyone who's not into our
excuse me,
Our
parlance.
parlance.
Batman, Vooperman, Superman.
Thank you.
But
Thank
the
you.
last shot of that movie is the dirt on Superman's grave starting to rise off of the grave. So immediately, it's like, stakes are important. Like, I mentioned Star Trek Into Darkness earlier. Captain Kirk dies in that movie, and 2 minutes later, he's back, and everything's fine. Like,
right, as opposed to, like, The Search for Spock,
Yes.
where let's take a whole movie
yes.
to bring this character back. It's the difference between Logan and X-Men Origins Wolverine, where Logan stays dead, but there is a post-credit scene where Deadpool, his hand crawls over to his head, and he goes, "Shh." And that is the difference between the two.
It's just,
And most movies are X-Men Origins Wolverine, but more movies should commit to being
and
Logan.
it's just like, I don't want to say that, like, how do I put this? I'm trying to think of a way to put this without sounding like an old boomer. But, like, part of what makes that scene, and you know exactly what scene I'm going to be talking about, that scene in Neverending Story work the way it does, is that, like, the horse doesn't come back. You know, like, and I'm not saying that every kids movie ever has to be this funeral march where kids learn that everything they love is going to die. I'm not saying that, but, like, you have to commit. The Pokemon movie, the first Pokemon movie, not the Rob Letterman Detective Pikachu Pokemon movie, but the first one, like,
Yeah, Pokemon the movie.
yeah, Pokemon the movie,
The first movie.
they learn, like, how important and how sacred life is, and how like immoral these clones are, and it's a very big lesson for a kids movie. And then as they're leaving, you hear Mewtwo saying, "I have wiped their minds from this event." So their memory,
they have learned nothing.
They've learned nothing. So they go right back to being fucking shitheads and not preserving.
Yeah, they go back to their blood sport.
As opposed to the end of Detective Pikachu, where Mewtwo says, "Mewtwo can of course switch the minds of Pokemons and humans if the Pokemon are in an agitated state." Which is one of the great lines of cinema.
Oh.
I just rewatched Detective Pikachu.
Sir Bill Nighy.
Beautiful. Just to watch a movie where Bill Nighy has to say, "Pikachu." or even more so, Ken Watanabe, who has to who gives an incredible performance.
Your father loved that Pikachu.
Your father loved that Pikachu. It was his partner. And I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think
I just rewatched it as a reappraisal on the old living room exercise bike. Holds up. Still good.
I think I might
Still fun.
I might have said this in a previous Movies for Babies or a different podcast. I can't recall, but there was a period of time during the year 2019 where I was like, am I really going to come out of the year 2019 with having Detective Pikachu as my favorite movie this year? Because that movie was my favorite movie of 2019 for like 7 months. And then, eventually, like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out, Man Who Killed Don Quixote came out, Last Black Man in San Francisco came out. But I was like,
thankfully saved
I'm like,
you.
really?
Parasite, Jojo Rabbit,
Yeah.
Knives Out.
I was like,
but
really?
for a while.
I really was, I don't want to say afraid, but I'm like, am I a bad movie fan if I come out of the year 2019 saying Detective Pikachu is my favorite movie?
Well, no. You'd be like Quentin Tarantino, who, saw 5 movies in 2010, and his favorite was The Lone Ranger.
Right. I love the thing I love about film directors' top 10 of the year lists when those come out is that there is always some wild ass shit on there, because most actual directors don't have the distinction between high art and low art that movie watchers do. So Chris Nolan will be like, yeah, Unstoppable, the movie about a fast train, is one of the 10 best movies of the year. It's so well cut together. It's so well assembled and done, and it's so thrilling. One of the 10 best movies of the year, where, like, Richard Roper would never.
Well, and also, too, like, so many of these directors are, like, they work, so they don't have time to watch movies. So, like, we were talking about David Lynch earlier. Like, before Twin Peaks: The Return came out, they're like, what was your favorite movie that came out last year? And he had nothing, because he hadn't watched any movies, but he said that he really enjoyed watching a show where they rebuilt and reupholstered cars.
Yes. Yes,
David.
yes.
Whenever you make things, whenever you're as busy as a Christopher Nolan is, can you imagine the pre-production on, like, Dunkirk? Like, when you'd have time to watch a movie,
Right, like, Nolan has 2 kids that he, like, loves. Like, when Nolan's not working on a movie, you cannot call him, you cannot find him, because he's spending time with his children and with his wife. And so, like, if Chris Nolan gets a sitter to go see Jurassic World, like, it's gonna be weighted differently because it's not his job to go see movies.
I enjoy it whenever I hear that, like, Chris Nolan loves Unstoppable, or Quentin Tarantino loved the second and third Matrix movies, or whatever. It was like,
hell yeah. Hell yes.
But yeah, like, back to Goosebumps. I think this movie is really, really, really great. But as I said, that one thing, just like, not that I'm like a sick monster who thinks that Hannah should be gone from the universe, but it's like, the movie could have been very meaningful, and like, I don't know, there's poor kids, they have to go through so much shit that they're not equipped for, and like, this movie could have been very helpful to some kids in unfortunate circumstances, but because they try for a crowd pleasing ending, and it doesn't. It's to the detriment of the movie. But apart from that, like as Kevin said, this was a gentleman's 7 out of 10, and I think that's I don't traditionally do like numbers attached to movies, but if I were to do that, I would say that's totally accurate. 7, maybe even 7.5.
Sure.
Just like the only problem I had with the movie this time, apart from that thing I just mentioned earlier, was just like I was fucking tired, but that's not the movie's fault, So like, right. Super enjoyable movie. Would love to watch it again next year. Like it's a great movie.
Absolutely, it's going on the
Darn
Halloween rotation
perfect.
For me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You love to see it.
Yeah, it's
okay. If we're ranking. We don't do official rankings at the end of every Movies for Babies, but this one is like, it's not as good as the Muppet movie, but it's the easy second place based on what we've covered so far.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's got some competition coming up, but because I love Fantastic Mr. Fox, I cannot wait to answer the question, does Wes Anderson think this is for kids? Is he under the impression that kids will like this?
Yeah, there's
does he make anything for anyone but himself?
He made Grand Budapest Hotel for me, I think. But any other movie I can't answer.
He might have made Darjeeling Limited for me, because apparently I'm the only person who likes that one. But I will say, so next month we're doing Fantastic Mr. Fox, because there's only one Thanksgiving movie I can think of, and that's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and we said we were going to be doing good movies for the rest of the year.
Ha-cha-cha!
And that movie has one good scene, and it's the one scene everybody knows.
That movie,
and it's the only thing that got it in our rating.
That movie is the thing that separates that movie from bad and good is that movie's got the worst score you'll ever hear in any single movie ever. That movie the score is just nails on a chalk. Like, anytime you feel any kind of enjoyment, that score kicks in and you're like, fuck this movie. I hate that score.
Here's my quibble with Planes, Trains, which I think is fine. I think it's nice. If someone put that on, I wouldn't protest. But that incredible scene
with John Hughes at his most capable. Not good, but he's doing what you pay John Hughes to do.
Yeah, most capable. It's not as good as The Breakfast Club, but The Breakfast Club is like the pinnacle of what that man is capable of. That and Home Alone. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, that incredible scene where John Candy is like, I like me. My friends like me. I'm happy with me. That should be your break from the second act into the third act, but it happens 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
It's just like the most baffling placement of that scene.
The structure of that movie is a mess.
Yeah.
It should be a movie of Steve Martin razzling this dude until he's finally like, I'm happy. Leave me alone. But it happens at the beginning of the movie. I don't know.
I agree with that. John Hughes once took a road trip with John Candy and a bunch of dumb kids, and he built his entire career around that one experience. But I think Fantastic Mr. Fox is most definitely a fall movie, and considering there's a scene where they 100%. All eat dinner together, I think it's a Thanksgiving movie. It's a Thanksgiving movie now. So I'm really, really excited to watch Fantastic Mr. Fox, because it's as you said, it's Goosebumps has some strong competition with Fantastic Mr. Fox, but maybe even I don't know.
It'll be interesting to talk about. I've already watched that movie once this year, and I will watch it again gladly. Here we go, baby.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of anything else other than check out Goosebumps. It's a good movie.
Yeah, check out treat
solid
yourselves. Rent $4.
Yeah.
Rent Goosebumps. Crack open
or
a
your
beer.
local library.
Yeah, or go to your local library if they are open and servicing currently, and make yourself some popped corn. Crack open a cold one. You'll have a good time. That's a good time at the movies.
I rented Goosebumps and Halloween 2018. My wife got Karate Kid Part 2, and we paid like $5 for all three, and we got our money's worth. Absolutely, got our money's worth and more. So check out Goosebumps.
100%. Hundo P. And we'll be back next time. But this has been your Movies for Babies for October. If you're in America, please vote and vote for Biden. Thank you.
Yeah, vote for Biden. Absolutely. I mean,
and a Merry Spooktober
he
to
sucks.
you all.
I don't want to fucking do it, but I'm going to.
I'm not super happy about it either, everyone, but I'm going to do it, and so should you.
It's like, vote for Biden the same way, you gotta get your prostate checked. It's gonna suck, but you gotta do it. So just do it.
You gotta do it. Sometimes you have to sit in the mechanics for 3 hours because the oil needs to get changed. And it just gotta get changed.
But
sometimes.
you gotta do the oil change now before it becomes a bigger problem in the future. And that's what voting for Biden is. You gotta do it now before there's a bigger problem in the future. You gotta get your prostate checked now before you have colon cancer. Just
Thanks for listening, folks. See you next Fright.
Ooh, very good. Justin, are you auditioning to be the Crypt Keeper?
No, I just want to stop talking about Joe Biden in this feel-good Halloween special.
You will be waiting.